Indians are investing in Dubai and people living in Dubai invest in India.
Investing into real estate in Dubai, the yields are good. Rather say yields are better than investing in India. See, life is uncertain. You need to take those decisions about you and your family and people attached to it. There are multiple asset classes, but at one point in time, you would want something new. Real estate is not new investment.
Now you can invest in a startup with 1 or 2 lakh rupees also.
Yeah. Out of 100 startups, 90 fail. There will be liabilities and you need to deal with it.
आज के टाइम में फोमो भी होता है कि इधर इन्वेस्ट करूंगा तो उधर रह जाएगा.
So I would stress on PPG, patience, purpose and greed. Any investor, if he absorbs these three things, he is in for a good ride.
मैं आपको आज 10 करोड़ रुपए देता हूँ. Would you buy real estate or would you buy stock exchange?
The natural impulse answer, I would want to invest in.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Real Better podcast. आज के हमारे गेस्ट हैं मिस्टर दीप नागपाल, जो कि एक वेल्थ मैनेजर हैं, इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकर रह चुके हैं और TEDx स्पीकर भी रह चुके हैं. इनके पास बहुत सारा एक्सपीरियंस है और नॉलेज है अबाउट फाइनेंशियल लिटरेसी, जिसमें आज हम बात करेंगे रियल एस्टेट की, स्टॉक मार्केट की और साथ ही साथ म्यूचुअल फंड्स की. तो बहुत कुछ आज आपको सीखने को मिलेगा. हाय मिस्टर दीप, वेलकम टू माय पॉडकास्ट. आज ना मेरे को आपसे बहुत कुछ सीखना है. आई नो दैट आप बहुत सारे कॉलेजेस में जाते हो, आप बहुत सारे कॉलेजेस में फाइनेंशियल लिटरेसी पढ़ाते हो. हमारा भी जो पॉडकास्ट है उसका मकसद यही होता है कि हम अपने ऑडियंस को ये बता सकें कि हाउ इम्पॉर्टेंट इज़ फाइनेंशियल लिटरेसी. एंड उस फाइनेंशियल लिटरेसी के अंदर एक छोटा सा पार्ट आता है रियल एस्टेट. तो मैं चाहूँगा कि आज हम आपका सारा ब्रेन पिक करें एंड आई एम वेरी एक्साइटेड. मेरे को आज बहुत कुछ सीखना है आपके साथ. सो लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड. सबसे पहले स्टार्ट करते हैं आपकी जर्नी के साथ. जितना भी आप पीछे जाना चाहें, यू वांट टू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम स्कूल, यू वांट टू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम कॉलेज, आप कहाँ पैदा हुए, कहाँ आपकी एजुकेशन हुई. गिव मी योर जर्नी अप टिल नाउ.
Thank you, Gaurav, for having me on your podcast. It's an absolute honor to even talking about the entire journey that I've been through, and from childhood till what I've achieved, and what I've been through. So my childhood has been very humble. I was born in Delhi. I grew in a central part of Delhi, which is Lodhi Road.
Oh, excellent.
If you know BK Dutt Colony, this is where I started, and my schooling happened from APJ, which was in Saket. And then college has been in Delhi University, and then it has been series of learning. When I say did multiple management development programs and kept on learning. In the course, I had the privilege of having a lot of mentors in my life. They are based all across India and abroad. If I'm allowed to name them, absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
Rajesh Raut, he's in Orissa.
Achha.
Sumit Arora, he was in Canada. Now I think he's based in Bangalore. And now the go-to man, Mr. Mandeep Singh, who happens to be my principal advisor.
I've met him a couple of times.
Yes. So the learning is never ending, and learning should not stop. With multiple facets of life, you can't focus on every aspect.
I agree.
Like the way when you call it, you can't make everybody happy. You have to rationalize. In the same manner, I focused on my specific skill set, which was service for the people and communication. So at an early stage of my life, it was very clear that I wanted to be a frontline executive, which I did. After doing my advertising and PR, I wanted to read news. I wanted glamour. But things change, it's just not what you want to do. I was modeling for CW and News Track at one point in time. I was Mr. Delhi and then Teen India and then I call it quits. When
अच्छा,
you realize that this is not the actual domain, or this is not the actual future that you want to build in that career.
were you not enjoying it? मतलब कैसा था कि उसमें मजा नहीं आ रहा था या पैसे नहीं बन रहे थे?
नहीं, मजा आ रहा था. It was too glamorous, but I was always very, very passionate of achieving things. Yeah, I mean, byproduct is money. Whatever you do, byproduct is money. But I think I was keen on wanting more substantial hard work.
Bigger things in
Bigger
life.
things in life, yes. True. So I was doing my advertising PR, like I said, and I got an opportunity to work for an airline. I was part of Jet Airways.
Oh,
I spent about a decade there.
in the good days.
In the good days, golden days of flying from 2002 to 2013.
Okay.
And then I moved to travel retail. Then I moved to e-commerce, supply
Acha.
chain logistics.
Very good.
Then I changed my industry. And then I got opportunity to be a part of the financial ecosystem. So 2016, I was part of a financial ecosystem. I joined Bajaj Capital. And then no looking back.
Okay.
The pivot came in when I decided to quit. That was in just early pandemic, March 21. And then head on to become an entrepreneur. And now running two companies, Water Wealth Capital and Seven Figure Wealth.
Excellent.
And this is how the entrepreneurial journey started. And no looking back, absolutely. No regrets. I'm blessed, grateful to God, gratitude, humbleness, and just focus on building wealth for people,
Yeah.
helping people make wise and prudent decisions while investing.
Yeah, very good. So let's go back to basics. Let's go back to ABCD.
Yeah.
शुरू से समझते हैं कि जब हम इन्वेस्टमेंट की बात करते हैं तो कितने एसेट क्लासेस अवेलेबल हैं. अगर मैं अपने दादा के टाइम की बात करूं या अपने पेरेंट्स के टाइम की बात करूं तब बहुत लिमिटेड ऑप्शंस होती थी.
Sure.
आज एक इन्वेस्टर के लिए बहुत बड़ा प्लेटर है.
Absolutely.
इट गेट्स कंफ्यूजिंग ऑल्सो. आज के टाइम में फोमो भी होता है कि इधर इन्वेस्ट करूंगा तो उधर रह जाएगा. तो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद कि कितनी एसेट क्लासेस हैं आज के टाइम पे अवेलेबल, एंड अगर आप थोड़ा टच कर पाओ कि हाउ डू यू थिंक अबाउट इट, यू नो, व्हाट आर योर some positives or negatives in each and every asset class?
Thank you. I mean, very, very intriguing question. So, when we look at different asset classes, Gaurav, we have traditional investments here,
Okay.
and then we have investments across the platter, like what you said. Yeah. So, when हम जब traditional investments की बात करते हैं, वहां पर आता है आपका mutual funds,
Okay.
fixed deposits, RDs, which banks offer. And then now we are moving on to a faster paced.
Yeah.
Then we have alternate investments to look at.
Okay.
Okay, there are different asset classes in terms of you can buy bonds. Yeah, you can. So alternate investments की जब हम बात करते हैं, then we have invoice discounting. Then we have
Commodities.
commodities. Then you can invest into asset lease. Now we have unlisted securities. You can
Okay.
invest into startups.
अच्छा.
Then blockchain, cryptocurrencies. So there are too much to absorb
Yeah.
for every set of audiences, whether it is a retail investor, whether it is an HNI, whether it is an ultra HNI, whether they are family offices. So when you look at perspective कि इतना सारा ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल है मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करने को, डाइवर्सिफाई करने को, एंड नॉट टू मेंशन रियल एस्टेट.
Real estate.
Real estate is again a very, very critical component which people either they choose to ignore
Yeah.
or they want to ignore,
Yeah.
but
Or they simply can't buy.
or they simply can't buy. Yeah. But the realization is the early you buy and have patience, it is going to yield a good return.
For all the asset classes?
Every asset class, P is important, which is patience.
Okay.
And then another P is purpose.
Okay.
And then is greed. So I would stress on PPG: patience, purpose, and greed.
Okay.
Any investor, if he absorbs these three things, he is in for a good ride.
Okay.
Life will be better because you can't punt When I say you can't just trade everything that you have as an asset class. No, there are certain aspects in life when you trade, you do intraday, or you become a broker, or you become a channel partner. But again, that's the sub part of the header that you have.
Okay.
But at the same point in time, making right decisions with which asset class is suiting your appetite, is individual decision.
Okay.
Or the family decision. Because when you invest into mutual funds, you can't expect double or 3 times or 5 times in a span of 1 year.
Yeah.
You need to give patience. You need to have understanding whether I'm investing into a right category of mutual funds or right category of an alternate investment, or right. As a matter of fact, when you do startups, startup doesn't grow overnight.
Yeah.
Every asset class takes depth. It takes their own time to mature and then yield good results.
Yeah. So अगर आपसे पूछा जाए तो आप कौन सी एसेट क्लासेस में ज़्यादा सजेस्ट करते हैं, या आप अपना पैसा भी जब इन्वेस्ट करते हैं तो विच आर योर फेवरेट एसेट क्लासेस?
See, my first favorite asset class is mutual funds.
Okay.
Because that gives me time to not monitor markets every day. Second asset class is capital markets. You invest into fundamental blue chip companies and let it grow.
Okay.
You can't just buy today and sell tomorrow, which I don't want to. I would rather stay when I make an investment. And the third very good asset class that I advocate is to invest into potential startup ecosystems.
Okay.
Whether through AIF route or whether approaching a broking outfit, where if they can invest into secondaries of startups.
बट ये तीनों ही जो हैं, अगर आप मेरे से पूछो तो आई वुड से कि ये तीनों ही हाई रिस्क वाली साइड पे आप चले गए हो.
Correct.
मे बी cause I don't understand the industry, maybe cause I don't understand those asset classes, but बोला जाता है कि इक्विटी एंड स्टार्टअप बहुत ज़्यादा हाई रिस्क रहते हैं. तो लाइक यू वर ऑल्सो सेइंग कि आपको कौन सा एसेट क्लास आपको कंफर्टेबल है और किस में आप टाइम लगाते हो रिसर्च करने के लिए, वो बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट हो जाता है.
True.
What is your take on real estate? And then we'll come back to these three also.
See, investing into any asset class requires some amount of research, and that research comes with patience. Mutual fund also, because there are multiple AMCs available in the country. There are multiple schemes.
Hundreds of offers.
Absolutely. And you can't invest into every possible scheme available. So, whether it is equity, whether it is multi-cap, whether it is small cap, whether it is large cap, whether you want to invest into hybrid. So, choose as per your appetite, choose as per your absorption power.
Like you said, PPG.
Yeah. And investing comes with strategies. High risk, high reward.
Yeah.
You take low risk and the reward is subsequently lesser. So, high risk, high reward, every asset class has risk attached to it. And you need to understand, there is always a disclaimer. Nothing comes free of cost. Nothing comes easy. And you also want money. So it's very fascinating.
दूर से तो सारे एसेट क्लास ऐसे
बहुत
लगते
अच्छे हैं आपको.
एंड इवन स्टार्टअप्स में भी यू सी 300x 400x 500x, बट वो दूर से ही ज्यादा अच्छे लगते हैं.
Every startup founder says that I'm going to grow my business 100x 200x 1000x. Investing into startups, again, you need to understand the pedigree of founder, their growth, and later you come on to their multiples and price to equity, their growth strategy, their profitability, how are they expanding, what is their plan,
the TAM of the market.
Yeah. So there are a lot of aspects when you look at fundamentally, and there is some gut feeling also when you invest into a startup, because investing into a startup, the thing starts from an ideation stage. If you are with the founder at an ideation stage, you will have that kind of conviction. With that conviction, if you invest and you believe in the idea, then that's something which is phenomenal. You invest at a different stage of startup when they've already raised seed round or their Series A and Series B and onwards. Then it's a different story. It's a pre-revenue and then post-revenue. So again, all this doesn't apply to investment into mutual funds and capital market or real estate. But coming on to your second part of question, real estate. See, I had no conviction 10 years back into real estate.
अच्छा.
But now it's completely opposite, Gaurav. Now, real estate for me, it's very, very critical.
Okay.
I come from a Punjabi family. I'm Nagpal. You know, वो कहते हैं ना, एक छत होनी बहुत जरूरी है. So that is not being taught to me. It's always felt.
But this is not a Punjabi thing. This is I think an
globally.
Indian thing.
Indian
thing.
Indian thing.
कि घर तो अपना ही होना चाहिए.
Correct. So जब वो घर की बात आती है, I've always stayed in a joint family. Now I realize that real estate, we need to look at a very different perspective.
Okay.
You know? It's a physical asset that you own, and it has a very different meaning to your life.
And probably the only physical asset.
The only physical asset that you feel and touch. Yeah. Rest all investments are, you know, they are no snow. You're doing it on laptop. Paper. You can't buy. Yeah, you can buy fractional ownership in real estate, but having a real estate and that investment that you live in, or you use that as a passive income for rental. But I think this is very, very strong.
Yeah.
Now I'm an advocate, and I tell people, if you have an appetite, please go and invest into real estate. It can be residential, it can be commercial, or I think, please correct me, is there any other way of investing into real estate? Is it residential and commercial?
Residential, commercial. See, I would say investment is more towards commercial.
Yeah.
Residential is when you want to buy a home or a second home. Investment करने के लिए तो हमेशा commercial ही better रहता है. But what made that shift 10 years ago and now? Was it your research? Was it just a emotional thing?
Yeah.
Or was it the family pressure?
It's a mixed bag.
Okay.
When you know that you have exhausted with the asset class, I think you need diversification.
Yeah.
And let me educate the audiences also. There are multiple asset classes, but at one point in time, you would want something new. Real estate is not new investment.
No.
But when you diversify, real estate becomes an important component of your asset allocation.
Okay.
You know, I'm talking holistically. Investing into real estate, people find alternatives. The fractional ownership of asset that comes into real estate is only because when people do not have surplus to invest. But at the same point in time, there are means and ways that you can invest into real estate. You have a part of your own capital. You can take mortgage. You can take, of course, loans. You can borrow some money from friends and families. So there are means and ways. But if you're aligned towards a goal that you need to buy an asset class which is physical, like real estate, yes, go for it. It can be small, it can be big, depending upon, again, it's an individual decision or a family decision.
तो अगर आपके पास चॉइस हो कि एक अच्छे स्टार्टअप में इन्वेस्ट करना है या एक अच्छे रियल एस्टेट में इन्वेस्ट करना है, तो आप वो डिसीजन कैसे लेते हो? Is it still a logical, data-based approach या emotional decision होता है? वो कैसे होता है decision?
So investing into startup versus investing into real estate. Let me talk about investing into startup first. Investing into startup, there are fundamental and then there are personal approach that I have.
Okay.
So fundamental, when you look at their growth numbers, when you look at their profitability, when you look at pedigree of founders, their expansion plan, this is one part. Second, and there's one connect with the founder. So it's always good to have one-on-one with the founder to understand the business. Versus real estate. Real estate is one, it has emotional connect, to be honest. Second, purpose.
Yeah.
There are two ways. One, you want to buy a real estate and you want to stay in it.
Yeah.
You want a real estate to generate passive income or a rental income.
Rental income.
That's it. And I'm personally invested into a lot of startup ecosystem. Hold, and I continue to hold unless there's an exit.
With startups में भी मैंने देखा है कि जैसे रियल एस्टेट में फ्रैक्शनल ओनरशिप आया, ऐसे स्टार्टअप्स के अंदर भी with so many angel networks coming in, now you can invest in a startup with 1 or 2 lakh rupees also. But मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि उसके लिए ना एजुकेशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है.
करेक्ट.
अगर आप किसी को सजेस्ट कर रहे हो कि आप 1 और 2 लाख रुपीज से स्टार्टअप में इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हो, बट अगर आप उनको ये एजुकेट नहीं कर रहे कि वो रिस्की कितना है, देन इट बिकम्स अ नाइटमेयर. मतलब बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो इन्वेस्ट कर देंगे बट एग्जिट स्टार्टअप में आपके हाथ में नहीं होता.
करेक्ट.
सेम आई थिंक रियल एस्टेट जैसा ही है, बट विद अ स्मॉल टिकट वैल्यू. अगर किसी ने अभी जर्नी अपनी स्टार्ट करी है और कोई अभी फर्स्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट्स के बारे में सोच रहा है, तो उसको किस साइड जाना चाहिए?
स्टार्टअप के अंदर इन्वेस्ट करने के लिए, यस, यू वेरी राइट, you need to have a proper understanding of the asset class. That is one. You have a lot of platforms available online, angel network groups, platforms which enable you to invest into a startup as small as 2 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 10 lakh, and multiple. We have intermediaries, we have wealth outfits which enable people to invest into startup, not in a primary allocation but as a secondary.
Okay.
Yeah. And secondary can be in the form of whether it is coming directly from an ESOP holder as a liquidity. Because any startup which is at the mature stage of life, they would have ESOPs given to the key management people.
Yeah.
And the only way they would need liquidity or can have liquidity, either the company goes into IPO or they are open to sell in a secondary market.
Okay.
Yeah. This is where people like me and my company comes into play, where we enable people that we can provide you liquidity at the right valuation, at the right cost. So we educate people. This is where you can come, and we are the buyers, and then we place these inventories into to different investors, family offices. Yeah. So liquidity protocol is very important. Versus the real estate, everybody knows the market. It's diluted.
Yeah.
It's penetrative. It's scalable and it's available. But again, right education from where to buy that real estate, choose the right broker, right property,
Yeah.
convenience, need, price tag, location, and then so on and so forth. So both have their own meaning, both have their own sentimental values, but people do invest into startups versus रियल एस्टेट.
बट वो किस तरह के लोग होते हैं? आपके जो क्लाइंट्स होंगे वो किस पेडिग्री के लोग होते हैं? आर दे द सुपर वेल्दी पीपल और आई डोंट नो, आई हैव नो आइडिया.
There are two kinds. One is B2B business, which we do, and then one is B2C. Clients who are reading about investing into startups, fractional ownership as a part of it, they are retail investors also.
Okay.
And there are HNIs also, and there are family offices also.
Okay.
Primarily what happens is family office look to invest and buy a larger chunk for wealth creation.
Okay.
When you enter at a valuation X and when you exit, X plus 20 or X plus 10 or X plus 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, your purpose of investing, your patience comes into play. You don't multiply your wealth or you don't multiply your money that you've invested into a startup, or as a matter of fact, real estate. Let me talk about both collectively. Over time, it doesn't grow in one day. So everything as an ecosystem, it is nicely poised. Market has always been like this. Market never grows like this.
Yeah.
It's always upwards, but with time.
But
And there are macro and micro factors, economic factors, which will be there, and market will always remain volatile.
बट स्टार्टअप्स में जो हम सुनते हैं, पढ़ते हैं कि बड़ा क्लियर है कि 90% ऑफ द स्टार्टअप्स तो बंद ही होने होते हैं. ठीक है. इफ़ यू इन्वेस्ट इन अ स्टार्टअप, इट इज़ अ वेरी 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 हाई रिस्क. सो ये सब जानने के बाद भी लोग स्टार्टअप में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं.
लोग स्टार्टअप में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं सब कुछ जानने के बाद, बिकॉज द परसेंटेज, like you said, of course we read a lot that out of 100 startups 90 fail.
Yeah.
Again, it's not a gamble, but it's something that is a thoughtful decision.
Okay.
That is the reason when you make an investment, or any individual who's looking to invest into startup need to understand the basic ground rule. Ideation stage is pure risk.
So you've worked with family offices. I was reading the other day that family offices real estate को last priority देते हैं, या real estate में उनका उतना interest नहीं होता. उसका क्या रीजन है? सी फैमिली ऑफिसेज दे अंडरस्टैंड रियल एस्टेट,
Yeah,
आई
they
बिलीव,
do. They do.
बट मे बी उनके पास कोई चैनल नहीं है, कोई प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं है, एंड दे थिंक दिस इज नॉट दैट लिक्विड. व्हाट इज द रीजन दैट they go to mutual funds, they'll go to equity investments, they'll even lend money, they'll invest in startups, but real estate की तरफ उतना नहीं जाते ये लोग?
I'm just giving you my perspective and my conversations with the family office that I
Yeah.
work with and then I aspire to work with. For them, there are two things. One, they look at every asset class in detail before investing. And let's say there's one family office that I work with. Their alpha investment is real estate.
अच्छा.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have land in Mumbai, commercial properties in Mumbai, in Gokarna, Karnataka, Goa. They look at good rental yields.
But वो फिर डेवलपर होंगे या
No, no.
Okay.
Pure family office. They have made good investments in real estate and
Very good.
they are looking to invest more into real estate, and they are also in conversations with your bank partners if they are auctioning any properties.
Oh.
They look to buy that. They're educated people. They are talking to anybody and anybody for a good opportunity in real estate.
Very nice.
Yeah. So real estate is getting much traction right now versus minus 5 years. Real estate comes from generation to generation.
Okay.
It's like generational wealth being transferred from your father or grandfather to father, father to son, and then the succession planning happens. So this is the way it has structured, and real estate is taking too much traction now.
So like you said, you have now started doing investments
Yeah.
in real estate. So your purpose is to create rental income, or you want quick flipping, buying, selling? आपकी कौन सी वाली अप्रोच रहती है?
Both the options are available to me, and I'm open to it for passive income. That will primarily be for rental. It can be a commercial or residential, both.
Yeah.
India and abroad. Yeah. So let's say investing into UAE, Dubai.
अच्छा.
It has a meaning to it because when you look at investing into real estate in Dubai, the yields are good. Yields are better than investing in India.
Yeah.
And when you are investing the same amount and with a better yield, that becomes lucrative. But always to mention, asset class is real estate.
How would you compare Gurgaon to Dubai?
Yeah.
अगर आपको एक कंपैरिजन करना हो फॉर रियल एस्टेट इन्वेस्टमेंट, आप कैसे देखते हो गुड़गांव वर्सेस दुबई?
Gurgaon, little more commercial than Dubai.
Commercial in the sense?
When I say commercial in the sense is the nature.
Okay.
Both are fast paced
Yeah.
when it comes to real estate.
Yeah.
Absolutely competing like Formula One. Investing into Gurgaon, what I feel, the prices have elevated.
Yeah.
And that's for a reason. Too much of migration.
Yeah.
Of people coming into Gurgaon, looking at Gurgaon as a potential investment opportunity.
Yeah. From all across the globe.
From all across, yes.
Yeah.
Why not? And then giving yield to the end user. Second way to look at it. Commercial opportunity. Third way to look at it. Dubai, I think what I understood in detail was you would have 200 nationalities living in Dubai.
Yeah. Agree.
And it's a global hub. Let's say global transit hub, where people come in, they stay, small tenure, longer tenure.
They work, they earn.
So I think from that perspective, the yield that comes out of the rental or the passive income is a little more than in Gurgaon.
No, 100%. गुड़गांव में अगर हम रेजिडेंशियल की बात करें तो रेंटल यील्ड इज समवेयर अराउंड 2 to 4% मैक्सिमम. इससे ऊपर नहीं जाती. बट यही अगर हम दुबई में जब जाते हैं तो इट कैन गो फ्रॉम 7% to 10% to even 11% also.
Correct.
So definitely there's a huge difference. थोड़ा सा इन्वेस्टर को बस ये होता है कि ये मेरी कंट्री है. बाहर जब आप जाते हो तो आपकी कंप्लायंस भी बढ़ जाती है, आपकी हेडेक भी बढ़ जाती है, आपको रिसर्च में भी उतना ही ज़्यादा टाइम लगाना पड़ता. बट एक ऐसा फिनोमिना मैंने देखा है कि इंडियंस आर इन्वेस्टिंग इन दुबई एंड पीपल लिविंग इन दुबई इन्वेस्ट इन इंडिया. ये टू एंड फ्रो दोनों साइड से ही चल रहा है इस टाइम.
See, it's just 2.5 hour flight, to be honest.
एंड क्योंकि वहाँ पे रेंटल यील्ड्स अच्छे हैं, उसकी वजह से अगर हम पॉपुलेशन कंपेयर करेंगे ना, पूरी दुबई की पॉपुलेशन इज प्रोबेबली 30 lakhs, मे बी 40 lakhs मैक्सिमम. बट वहां पे वो जो पॉपुलेशन है, दैट इज 1% ऑफ द एंटायर वर्ल्ड. दैट इज द क्रीम.
करेक्ट.
तो वहां पे रेंटल यील्ड्स इसीलिए हाई है क्योंकि वहां पे जो अपॉर्चुनिटीज जो हैं, जो जिस तरह के लोग वहां रह रहे हैं, दे डोंट माइंड पेइंग. इंडिया में अभी उतना रेंटल नहीं आ रहा.
But again, per square feet cost is much elevated right now in Delhi NCR specifically. I don't know about other states in India, but yes, yeah.
अगर आपको इन्वेस्ट करना हो, would you rather prefer a residential or a commercial?
Residential.
Residential for your first investment.
The first investment. The first, let's say, second investment.
Okay.
I've already made one, which
that is your home.
Yeah.
उसमें तो आपने रहना है.
बिल्कुल.
ठीक है.
And then commercial.
Why do you say that?
Generally.
Does it look safer? Does it feel safer?
Let's say feel safer.
Okay. And also, what I tell everyone is that residential is more towards I would say a less risky, because उसमें क्या होता है, आपकी सिर्फ 11 months की लीज होती है. Even if you are not happy with your tenant, it will be over in 11 months. And अगर आपको पैसा बढ़ाना है तो 11 महीने के बाद आप दूसरा टेनेंट ढूंढ सकते हो एट अ 10%, मे बी 15% हायर द रेंटल कॉस्ट.
अंडरस्टूड.
बट कमर्शियल में क्या होता है, इट इज 9 years, 18 years, 21 years लीज. तो पहले तो उसको चढ़ाना मुश्किल है, बट जब चढ़ जाता है तो देन इट यू आर कमिटिंग फॉर नेक्स्ट 9 years to 18 years.
अंडरस्टूड.
सो वो बहुत एक लंबी कमिटमेंट हो जाती है, उसके बीच में आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते.
So there's too many apprehensions, too many questions to answer. Suitability is very important.
So जब हम एसेट क्लास की बात कर रहे थे तब आपने टच किया था क्रिप्टो एंड द
unlisted security, Bitcoin.
So
Bitcoin is one part of it.
Yeah. So tell me, अभी तो इस टाइम बिटकॉइन बहुत हॉट हुआ है.
All time.
उसका क्या रीजन है, एंड हाउ डू यू लुक एट क्रिप्टो और ब्लॉकचेन और बिटकॉइन? इज बिटकॉइन अ करेंसी और इज इट एन एसेट? इसको कैसे आप सोचते हो?
This requires attention to detail for every investor, because again, as an asset class, blockchain is a tech stack.
Is a technology.
It's technology. It's a tech stack, and acceptance for cryptocurrency is not available with every nation.
Yeah, and not every individual.
Not every individual. Again, this requires too much detail, education, thought enrichment, understanding,
research.
Like when you invest into capital markets in India or anywhere else in the world, or any other asset class. Blockchain also, you can do that. But at the same point in time, there are certain regulations that every country has. An acceptance, now globally, it is accepted as a currency. You can pay through Bitcoin. You can buy real estate through Bitcoin. You can trade in different cryptocurrencies available on the exchange.
Okay.
It may not happen in India or any other country or any other state. But yes, people have acceptance. They have found ways and means to buy, hold, sell, trade through exchanges available in India. That's an asset class.
Okay.
Yeah. I would not say it's just a commodity that you're buying. It's an asset class, and you need to have that acceptance and the growth. There are macro factors, there are micro factors, global headwinds, global tailwinds. How are commodities, oil, and let me not just pinpoint one. How are the stocks or the commodities or other tradable units being regulated in India and global would have direct or indirect impact on how the blockchain or the cryptocurrencies are being governed and traded.
न्यू इन्वेस्टर के लिए या एक अननोन इन्वेस्टर के लिए oil they can use, commodities they can use, gold and silver
Yeah.
they can keep, they can use, make it into ornaments, jewelry and everything. बट क्वेश्चन ये आता है कि बिटकॉइन का करेंगे क्या? मतलब अगर हमने बिटकॉइन खरीद भी लिया तो इज इट जस्ट एयर? आप हवा खरीद रहे हो, आप एक्चुअल में फिजिकली तो कुछ आपके हाथ में आ नहीं रहा.
करेक्ट. These are all units.
तो ये यूनिट्स आप खरीद रहे हो, तो ये इसका यूजेज है नहीं, तो फिर ये इतना बढ़ क्यों रहा है? मतलब जैसे गोल्ड बढ़ता है क्योंकि अब जैसे हमारे यहाँ पे दिवाली आई तो गोल्ड की डिमांड बढ़ जाती है, ज्वेलर्स की डिमांड बढ़ जाती है, तो गोल्ड प्राइसेस बढ़ने लग जाते हैं.
It's the same.
ओके.
Demand supply is a bedrock.
ओके.
The thumb rule for anything which can be traded.
या.
It can be stock. Demand है तो सप्लाई होगा, सप्लाई है तो डिमांड may or may not come in.
बट उसका यूज इन द सेंस के जैसे इंडिया में तो इतना इन्वेस्ट लोग नहीं करते, बट फॉरेन में पीपल इन्वेस्ट इन गुड अल्कोहल, दे विल इन्वेस्ट इन गुड वाइन, दे विल इन्वेस्ट इन आर्ट. तो एटलीस्ट यू गेट समथिंग. ठीक है, उसका कोई यूज है कि आपने एक अच्छे पेंटर की आर्ट खरीद लिया एंड फ्यूचर में कोई आएगा वो आपसे उसको प्रीमियम में लेके जाएगा. वाइन है, जितनी पुरानी होती जाएगी उतना उसके प्राइस बढ़ते जाएंगे. बट बिटकॉइन का अभी भी समझ नहीं आ रहा कि बिटकॉइन की डिमांड क्यों है, किस लिए है? इज इट ओनली फोमो? क्योंकि एक तरफ तो लोग बात करते हैं कि बिल्कुल स्कैम है और वो $0 हो जाएगा. एक तरफ कल मुझे कोई कह रहा था बाय 2040 इट विल टच $1 मिलियन. तो मतलब इतना ज्यादा गैप है कि एक इन्वेस्टर के लिए समझना बड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है कि
See, I'm not a Bitcoin or a blockchain guru, but at the same point in time, with little allocation and whatever info that I have, my perspective is it's still intangible, which is being mined, which is limited in quantity, being traded, and has a value.
Okay.
Unlike other asset classes, which, like what you mentioned, art, music, gold, silver, platinum, other asset classes that you can touch, feel, buy, hold, and wait for the value to rise.
अगर आपको चॉइस मिले, would you rather buy gold or would you rather buy Bitcoin?
The natural impulse answer, I would want to invest into gold.
Okay.
And I do.
Okay.
There are means and ways you can invest digitally, which I do, which is called gold SIP to educate investors, or silver SIP.
There are ETFs now. There are so many things.
You have gold ETFs you can have that you can buy in your dematted or non-demat form. Gold SIP directly, and you can buy physical gold always. As an investor, I also realize that investing into Bitcoin becomes important, not necessary, but at the same point in time, the acceptance in India is low than other countries, and taxation, that's very critical. There is huge taxation in India when you realize that. So vis-a-vis globally.
I think government भी अभी discourage ही कर रही है. I think it is still in the gray area. It is.
Yeah, it's not discouraging, but too much of laws and regulation and taxation when you talk about acceptance of cryptocurrencies in India. Yes.
And it's legal to invest in crypto.
Through exchanges that you have. Yes. Do your proper KYC. Yes.
एक और क्वेश्चन जो आता है, would you rather invest in stock market or real estate?
Impulse answer, yes. I would rather invest into stock market first, make some money, because it has to be wise and prudent and well research decision, and then invest into real estate.
मैं हर किसी से ये क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ. आई वॉन्ट टू नो योर आंसर ऑल्सो. मैं आपको आज 10 करोड़ रुपए देता हूँ. आज आप एक ही चीज ले सकते हो. वुड यू बाय रियल एस्टेट और वुड यू बाय स्टॉक एक्सचेंज?
आई वुड बाय रियल एस्टेट.
जब तक हम हजारों में बातें कर रहे हैं, जब तक हम लाखों में बातें कर रहे हैं, पीपल आर ओके इन्वेस्टिंग इन स्टॉक मार्केट, म्यूचुअल फंड्स.
See, it's conviction. Investing into any asset class available in the country on platter is conviction first and then the decision. So I'm not saying I'm less I have less conviction in capital markets, or I have less conviction in real estate or any other asset class. It's just what is required, because there is huge quantum involved. Everybody wants to ensure that the money that you're investing does not go in vain.
Yeah, I agree.
And 10 crores, like you mentioned, is a huge amount.
It's a huge amount.
And investing into real estate is not going out anywhere, because when you buy whether it is a land, or whether it is a commercial, or whether it is a residential, whether it is a builder floor, whether it is a high rise,
कुछ भी ले लो.
it will have some value and it will appreciate with time.
Also, I want to touch upon one more thing. I read that you have been a TEDx speaker.
Yeah.
So tell me, वो journey कैसी थी, वो experience कैसा था?
It all started with a company called Excursion.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm naming it on air because Prashant Nagpal introduced me to Assam Valley School.
Acha.
Yeah. And I always believed one of the skills that I had is impart factual information. I'm not a trainer. I'm a speaker.
Okay.
And you can only become a speaker, in my sense, is when you know your product.
Yeah.
You know your product, you may become a good salesperson. You know your product, you can speak about it.
Yeah.
Polishing your skills is a byproduct of it. So I always thought that I can add value to people and their lives by telling them about things that usually no book, no MBA teaches. And there was no topic given to me. It was leveraging people and technology.
Okay, leveraging people and technology.
That's something that I felt that I should be talking about it, because that's how my life has been. I have spent decade with hospitality, travel retail, e-commerce, non-banking, and then having a company of my own. And all this pivot happened with a very strong conviction. So I attained Ikigai, the purpose of you being alive, very soon. Okay. It's very clear what I need to do, what I need to achieve.
Yeah.
And in this journey of TED Talk and TEDx that I did, it was completely the same.
Okay.
I talked about myself. I talked about demography. I talked about how you can be the demographic dividend rather being demographic disaster. Because, see, life is uncertain. You need to take those decisions about yourself,
bold
bets about you and your family and people attached to it. You're not just a lone man walking on the street and doing what you want. At certain point in time, there will be less responsibilities, there will be liabilities, and you need to deal with it.
Yeah.
So I just spoke about my entire journey, what I had,
what I faced. How was the experience?
The experience was enriching, and I felt good about it. And in speaking terms, you know your product, or you know about you know about yourself. It's just telling the world that this is how to be done.
Excellent. Thank you, Deep ji. बहुत मजा आया.
Thank you very much.
सीखने को मिला.
Thank you very much for having me here on the podcast.
नहीं, it was my pleasure, sir. बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला, and like you said, we should do this again sometime.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.